fact, I had 5 surgeries in my life. I'm not 80 if you can tell, and yes, I am healthy and grateful for that. None of those surgeries were high risk, not even after the motorcycle accident, but it's also not a regular human experience everyone goes through sooner or later. All of them were painful and annoying and stressful and affected my life afterwards. So I'm using my shitty experiences to show you something. The last one was on 3rd of November 2025, and it was explained to me as a routine procedure done by a robot named Da Vinci. How cool am I right now, being operated by Da Vinci? To prevent my kidney from clogging. Lucky me, I was born with something too tight that now, after a while, since I'm almost 34, started to make my kidney clogged, okay? So it's not emptying properly. Sexy talk. No biggie, it had to be done so I don't have issues in the future and then I have to remove the entire kidney. Let's keep it healthy, maybe can invest it in something. I thought that already the day after surgery I'll be able to walk in the hospital, chill, and second week I can exercise normally, maybe only just body weight, but lots of things can be done just body weight. That sounded a bit wrong. I'm talking about exercising. And long story short, 5 days painful in a hospital bed with my internal organs moving around, 6 stitches on my abs, and 4 weeks of not being able to exercise, not nearly normally, 0 regular workout, what in my books for me is a workout. Many things didn't go as I planned, and if you stick with me, I will show you how my body changed throughout those 4 weeks and how exactly I did an absolute bare minimum. Shall we? The day I left the hospital, after spending so much time in bed and not using my muscles at all, I had to immediately go outside. The trip outside was slow, short, and uncomfortable, but absolutely necessary. I truly thought that this surgery would be a walk in the park compared to what I experienced before. But when I found myself tied to the bed again, with 2 tubes hurting my body, hanging out of it and holding some other stuff, with burning wounds and sensations in my insides that I cannot explain, my morale was down. It triggered the past memories, and I asked myself why I have to go through something like this again. What kind of a bitch was I in my past life to continuously earn these experiences? Which is a very piteous way to deal with things, and I maximally dislike the self-pity version of myself. The road out of those thoughts for me is always to turn the negative experience into something valuable. So the idea for this video was born. There are far too many people whose struggles are way worse than mine, I know, and I don't think it's common or necessary to share them online. But as someone who loves YouTube and social media and wants to use it to teach and give something beautiful, I allow myself to take my shitty experiences as my leverage. Otherwise, it all happened for nothing, and that's not what I will allow. This surgery was simple, routine, done by a robot. Oh, let me introduce you, my penetrator, Da Vinci. It all went perfectly well, and I was recovering. Okay, as I said, no big deal. But it was painful and stressful and triggering to me because I had more of those experiences. And it taught me a lesson that correlates with something I'm learning at menopause certification, menopause coaching specialist certification. Oh, that was a mouthful. We all have our own reality, our own experiences that collects over time. And unless we walked in someone's shoes through all those experiences, we can exactly know how they feel and how they should feel. But we don't, so it's unfair to expect from ourselves to fully understand others and them to behave how we think based on our experiences and perceptions they should feel and behave. My point is, if someone you know is going through any type of adversity in life, even if it's just a PMS, yeah, maybe it's normal, maybe it's nothing dangerous, it still doesn't mean it's not complicated to that person. If you want to support someone like that, ask them what they need and love them the way they need, not what you think how they should behave and what they should want. And with the words that come from love, but entirely dismiss their experience and reality. Here is what my activity actually looked like. Day 1 to 5, nada. I was in the bed. No moment. On the 5th day, when I left the hospital, I explained what I did, and also because I was a bit anxious of potential thrombosis because I was not moving enough and I didn't get my shots that I thought I will have to do it myself as after surgeries before. I needed a bit more movement in my legs, so I did 20 bodyweight lunges. That's it. Day after that, I went for very slow 60-minute walk and I vacuumed my apartment because it was that extremely necessary. The day after that, I again went for a slow 60-minute walk and I did 25 Bulgarians on one side, 25 on the other. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can check out this link where I explained leg exercises, including goddamn Bulgarians. On the day 8th, I went only for that 60-minute slow walk. On the day 9, I walked 40 minutes around. When I say that, I mean that I had to go maybe to the city. I don't remember on that day, maybe I had a doctor's appointment or something, and then 10 minutes on the way there, then 10 minutes on the way back, It collected to 40 minutes in total. Okay, I didn't go extra for a walk that day, and I did with those 6 and 6 kilogram kettlebells, I did 25 deadlifts. If you don't know what those are and you haven't watched the video that I just told you, then just watch it and you will know what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, I used 6 and 6, which is 12 kilograms, and doctor said not more than 10. What can I say? I'm a real rebel, so I did with 12. On the day 10, I did again 25 Bulgarians per side, and I did 25 overbent rows, again with those 6 kettlebells. If you don't know what overbent rows are, I explained it. From the day 11 to 18, in total, 40-minute walk. So I either went for a walk or it collected in a day, okay? And this time, when I was going for a walk, it was still the same distance that took me before 60 minutes. Now I was doing it for 40 minutes, so I increased the intensity. But the distance, number of steps, didn't, okay? And I started to slowly increase muscle contractions, which means that I did more exercises than just 1 or 2. Let me show you how. I chose exercises for each muscle group, except the chest. Sorry, chest, not my priority right now at all. Put my tiny weights in the living room, and whenever I felt like I have a bit more energy than 0, I did 1 medium to low intense set per exercise, with or without the small weights. Never less than 3 and never more than 6 exercises, which in total took less than 10 minutes. So it was between 5 to 10 minutes because I didn't take any breaks in between the exercises. When you hear this now and see this video, do you think that I lied when I said that I didn't exercise all those weeks? The thing is, it's not a lie. I didn't say I didn't move or contracted my muscles, but I'm not calling this working out because it was a bare minimum just to improve my circulation and activate muscles. The weights, only 1 set per exercise, and repetitions were far from optimal. I didn't even break a sweat. And when it comes to calories, what I was doing burns a very insignificant amount. These videos were recorded afterwards, of course, all of them at the same day. I just switched the outfits because I really didn't feel like putting on the camera in those moments in real life, you know. But believe me, this is exactly how I looked. Day 19 to 23, I did nothing. Didn't pick up my weights, I didn't go for a walk. Maybe I was moving around the apartment a bit if I was at my sister's with my niece, and that's all. But listen now, on the day 24, something significant happened. I started to feel like I'm in my pajamas most of the time. I need to remind myself who I am. I need to make a mirror selfie because I was not doing it before, and it's like kind of my thing. So I needed something to trigger myself, the feeling of being me. I put on my clothes. I was still not having lots of energy to properly exercise, but I needed to put my feet in the gym, in that environment, wear a bit different clothes. And yeah, I mean, I did mirror selfie. I'm joking about that, but it's just a metaphor for who am I usually and how I was feeling those days. So what happened is that in 30 minutes in total, I did 10-minute warm-up. In the end, I did 5 minutes stair climber, and in between I did full body workout with only 1 set per exercise, in total 6 exercises. So it might sound to you like this is a real workout, you are in the gym, but it was again not intense when it comes to weights or repetitions. It was just for me mentally necessary. It didn't bring much to my physique. It doesn't burn many calories when you do things like that, but it does to your brain, and it still activates your muscles, so, which is always a plus, better than nothing. Day 25, I had zero desire to go outside. It was cold, very cold. I don't have a problem with cold. I can dress like an onion, but it was also muddy where I go for a walk, and I just didn't feel like it at all. But I was feeling like I promise looks a lot more sexy when I dance Latino workouts than what I showed right now. I needed some movement. I cannot do full-blown workout. I cannot go outside. What can I do? Easy cardio. And that it's also fun. So for me, I love Latin culture and music and dances, and I found really nice workout on the YouTube, and it was light. I didn't sweat, and I was not breathing heavily because it's medium low intensity workout. Okay, you can compare that to going for a walk outside, but it's a lot more fun. And from day 26 to 28, I did again nothing. On all days, I had 5 to 10% of energy, even though I ate normally. And when I say I ate normally, it was of course after the hospital. No one eats normally in the hospital. So let me explain. On the day when I checked in the hospital was Sunday afternoon. I ate last time around 7, and because I knew that fast is coming, like no food, time without food is coming, and I didn't want to lose a lot of weight, I tried to eat more on Sunday. And when I say I try to eat more, read just some Balkan food that is higher in calories, okay? And delicious. From that Sunday around 19, I didn't eat until Tuesday, 9 in the morning, okay? Yeah. So this is how it approximately looked like. A bit, just a peek. I was not recording everything and filming and so on. Yeah. I'm no real YouTuber. I know from Tuesday to Friday the meals were based on easy digestible foods because my stomach was empty for days and I wasn't moving much, like my digestion. After the hospital I ate as I always do. No restrictions, all types of foods, just following my hunger and satiety cues. Was also in PMS, so there was a day with excessive chocolate intake. I made only one live video because I didn't want to record every minute of my life. For lunch, pepper with noodles and protein pudding. Yummy! So I just reduced amounts. I'm still eating all the foods. And let's see what happens after 3 weeks. Good appetit to me. Bye-bye. 1 week after... Six stitches, bitches. I'm also in PMS, so my body has a lot more water than normally. And other than that, of course, after only 1 week, not much can change. I know, not much change in 4 weeks. I was a bit just, trying to force you towards this video. I got new cuts, that's what happened, and my legs and glutes lost some volume. I don't know if I lost some muscle, but even if yes, it's nothing dramatic. I lost strength, of course, but none of that was the real success. Real success was what didn't happen. Laying in bed for 28 days because I can't move, this feels uncomfortable, and feeling sorry for myself, and rewinding all my past experiences and feeling sorry, and emotional eating, and all of that making me reverse even more in what I've achieved with my trainings, and going back to the person long time ago when I struggled with food and body image and feeling guilt and shame. So none of that happened. I didn't trigger any of that because I chose to do my absolute bare minimum. To sum up, in 28 days, I only once stepped foot in the gym, both feet, it's just an expression, and did something that resembles a workout. 12 days in total, not in a row, okay? 12 days, I did nothing, except what people do when you're at home, just doing steps to the toilet, to the kitchen, to the bedroom. And 15 days in total, I did that, what I call bare minimum, what was possible for me. The whole point of this video is to show you that even very small effort, but over time, gives some results. The goal here for me was to maintain as much as possible, so when I start again, I'm not way back where I was before. So the goal was to stay the same, and I made it. But that simple goal makes a huge difference between continuing and giving up. I'd like you to ask yourself, in the moment when you stopped exercising, if you were active for a couple of weeks and months and then something happened and you completely stopped, would have been different if you decided to do your absolute bare minimum. It doesn't even need to be on every single day, but just something that kept you in that mindset of, I am a person who exercise, this is important in my life, I'm doing this because I cannot do more, but as soon as I can, I'm going back to it. Maybe you would have not ended with months and years of not exercising and now struggling to start again. That's the whole point what I'm trying to show here. So when life happens, I encourage you to do bare minimum. Maintain your good eating habits. Without that, nothing can stay the same. If you just decide, because I'm not exercising, what's the point of healthy, balanced eating? Nope. And choose 2 behavior-based goals, maximum. What I mean by that, for example, I had goals to go for a walk, move my body, and or pick up the weights. I didn't even put the goal of 10,000 steps, of this amount of sets per exercise, this many repetitions. It was just show up here or here, and then let's see what happens from there. That's behavior-based goal. You must decide in the given moment what's bare minimum for you. It will be different from situation to situation. When I had motorcycle accident and for months and months and months I was not able to exercise normally, my bare minimum looked different than how it looked now. And I maintained as best as possible how I looked before the accident. And the point is not to maintain your looks. The point is to maintain yourself, who you are. It's about maintaining your mindset and your good habits and taking care of yourself and being in control of yourself when everything else in life feels out of control. So do your bare minimum whenever you can't do more until you can go back to your best, okay? And you can also use this bare minimum philosophy if you're just starting. It's better to do something super simple and small, but do it often and then progress from there instead of having some huge goal that you cannot ever find time for. We are all different. You need to know what for you that small step is. Exercising and lifting weights should be as saving money and being smart about it when times are good, not spend everything, enjoy the fruits of your labor, but keep piling it, okay? Because bad times will come. They're inevitable in this life. But then when you have some stash, those bad times will be easier. So if you're above 30, build muscle. Train hard whenever you can, unless you just prefer let your health decline progressively as you age, because that's what happens unless you do something. I do beg you. Exercise for life, not summer or an event. Exercise for life and despite the life. Train hard for easier life, and when you can't do more, do your absolute bare minimum. Thank you so much for being here and for your time. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one, I hope very soon. Bye bye.